I hope you have I actually heard you've had an interesting day with the great speeches and interesting panel discussions throughout the day. And if we look outside while walking here in the morning or later in the afternoon, I guess we've all noticed why we are talking about the sustainability. Even though it's delightful to have warm, sunny, even hot September days, we know that it's far from what it used to be. We know that sustainability, taking care of our environment, our planet, is something we shouldn't only be planning on, but we should already act today. And the good news is, of course, that we are already acting. There are several things that all of us have been doing for years, for decades, in some way, but still there's a lot to do. Today I will tell what we at Neste, what is our aim, what is our purpose, and how with our customers and partners, how we are acting and planning and doing in our markets where we operate. If we think about our plans and our actions, not only we are helping our customers to reduce their greenhouse gas emissions, but we are taking also care on reducing our own emissions. And this is why our aim is to be carbon neutral by 2035. This is why we have committed to end crude oil refining in our refineries by the mid-35. So it's not only, let's say, talking the talk, but it's walking the walk as well. And along the journey, we have a commitment also to enable our customers to walk their path, to make their choices, and to reduce their greenhouse gas emissions. If we think about the energy sector overall, the transport is responsible for the 1/4 of the emissions. And the good news is that there, 45% is from passenger cars on the road traffic. And why it's good news? It's something we all can impact on. It's how we drive ourselves, the selections or choices what we make in our personal life, on the way to work, to the hobbies, to taking kids to the school, but also how we are running our business. What are the choices, what we do at our working places, what are the fleet choices, and how we are affecting those. So 45% for the passenger traffic, almost 30% for the other road traffic, so it has a huge impact. Then, of course, aviation, shipping, they count also, but really by focusing on this road transport, we can make a big difference, and we have already alternatives that it can start already today. Aviation sector itself has committed to net zero emissions by 2050. And even though the industry itself is growing, there are ways already by the sustainable aviation fuel to start reducing the emission what the industry itself makes. And at the moment, the sustainable aviation fuel is the best and most efficient and quickest alternative to start reducing emissions on the aviation sector. Then, if we think about what is happening in the energy and in the fuel market, we see that there are sticks, there are carrots, there are many initiatives on a local level, really on the global level. And when combining all this, when having the commitment from all different actors, I have a true belief that we start to see a remarkable change and we can really make a big impact. If we think about the net zero pledges, big companies who have made their own targets above the mandates and above the legal limits, they have a great impact. We have the COP28, which is the UN initiative, so really a global commitment and program to reduce the CO2 footprint. And then, of course, the stick part that for example, in the EU, the regulation with the biomandates and the land use, so that is developing all the time, so that have a mandatory and regulatory impact on all players. We also know the fact that this is a reality that what we've been seeing for the past few years with the unforeseen global crisis, first hit by the COVID and then the war in Ukraine, leading to the very turbulent and high energy prices. And we've seen also the step back from these policies. But on a long term, the aim, and we should all be able to commit to reduce the emissions. And then also, for the companies, we start to see that sustainability, you can really differentiate, you can make an impact, you can make a better business by reporting it, by opening up, improving the transparency. Also, I guess you've been talking about greenwashing and today, that really calculating the impact that you are making, that it's not only, let's say, nice fluffy words, but really measuring what you are doing, seeing the impact, reporting that to your stakeholders, whether it's financing companies, your customers, your stakeholders. So there you can make a really good impact on your business as well. Renewable diesel market growing very much, especially in Northern America, there especially on the West Coast, on the California starting there, and also in Europe. And despite of the, let's say, mandates that were freezed for a while, we see that by the end of this decade, there will be a big growth. And also, as said on the aviation part, we are this autumn expecting a EU regulation also that is driving the change there, because of course also the regulation helps the competition, that we have the same regulation for everybody. Everybody is playing with the same rules, so that speeds up the CO2 reduction amount. Then if we stop a while to talk about a bit what Neste is doing in this market, what our response is. We've been having this vision, the purpose, creating healthier planet for our children. It's been, I guess, almost 10 years now. And I must say that when it was first introduced, it felt like it sounds great. It sounds really something that you can attach to and you can agree on, but it felt that it's very, let's say, far away in the future and not very attainable. But now, with all the developments, with the increased renewable diesel sales, investments to the aviation fuels, investments to the polymers and chemicals, and improving the raw material based, I truly believe that this is something that we already are doing, and it's not a fluffy, it turns into practice. And I think this is a great great purpose that guides us on the choices that we make in our business. If we think about Neste as a company, so it was started in the late 40s after the Second World War to reply on the, let's say, tough energy situation in the post-war area. We were a small company on the really at the end of the world with the first one and then the 2 refineries. And really from the beginning, as we were small, we were focusing on the high quality, and gradually high quality meant also environmentally friendly production. And it was somewhere late 80s, early 90s that we were the ones introducing sulfur-free fuels in the market. And already, I think this is, as I said, that these sustainability issues have been there for decades. Already in the 90s, there was an idea to start producing sustainable fuel. Those were the days that nobody talked about the climate change, nobody talked about the sustainability. But it tells about the, let's say, great R&D, courage, innovation, what we have in the company. But it also tells that when you are developing something new in our industry, it doesn't happen overnight. It's been a long-term investment. It's required a lot of innovation and insight from our R&D engineers, and of course courage from the top management and of course everybody to push it through. And after the 90s, in the 2000, we invested in the first renewable refineries in Singapore, and then the addition in Porvoo started with the renewable diesel production, also producing sustainable aviation, became the world's biggest producer of renewable fuels. So this is a nice story to tell from a small, local, distant refinery to a renewable champion, I would say. And of course now, as said, the aim is to continue helping our customers with their emissions, reaching this carbon neutral production by the end, mid-35. And this is again one courageous step to become purely the renewable company in the industry. And then a bit on the renewable fuel market. I know there's often discussion that whether we should go for renewable fuels, whether we should go on electricity, is the hydrogen the solution we should go for? But this is my favorite picture illustrating that actually it's not a choice between different energy types, but it's really how we are able to maximize the usage of all of them. This square equals to global oil consumption. And still, to make it more complex, the consumption is still increasing as the economy grows, as especially Asian and African markets are growing. So we are not in a, let's say, fixed situation. This black box shows that a bit more than half of this is used of the oil consumption is used in transportation. And this is now a very small share, which is at the moment covered, or which is replaced by renewables. And in 21, even smaller part was covered by electric vehicles. Of course, those ones are to be grown with the investments to the production capacity, with the increased mandates, and we believe that by 2040, about 1/3 of the transport can be transferred to the renewables. And approximately the same amount, electric vehicles. There are bottlenecks with the battery production, etc. Investments are needed. And then we are left still with 1/3. And there, power to liquids, hydrogen, other alternatives, which are not there today, are needed. But that's why we have currently renewables where the market is growing. We have a growing EV market. And as we all know, we can't afford to wait those solutions that are there in 10 years' time, but making the change already now with the options what we have available. And as Neste, how we are positioned, so in a way we have 3 legs. So aviation is one of the most growing segments for renewables, and if we compare the sustainable aviation fuel, so the footprint is 80% lower than in traditional fossil fuel. Then for the polymers and chemicals, there we have a solution for the industry to support on their so that they can lower their dependence on the fossil raw materials. And then thirdly, of course, the road transportation, which is also clearly visible in Lithuanian market, that we have Neste. We had a big introduction this year to the and expansion of the Neste, so it's available on 70 sites for both B2C and B2B segment, and the feedback from the customers have been very positive. And then if we think about the Neste and its benefits, so of course it's purely made of renewable raw materials, and the carbon footprint, it's reduced by 75% compared to normal diesel. And most of all, importantly, it's compatible with and can be used in the existing fleet. And we have also the network. We can use we don't have to make additional investments to the network, or if we think about the bigger customers on their own depots. EV charging, we are also investing and expanding in the market areas where we are having already 50 charging for the customers in the Baltics and Finland altogether by the end of the year. And this is clearly a growing segment and comes along also with the EU mandates. And as said, this aviation fuel, so this is very growing product at the moment. And as you can see from the bars, so as said that this 80% of the footprint, the footprint is 80% of the traditional diesel, so that's mainly on the production, and in our plans, as we were aiming for the carbon neutral production by the 35, so this is an item also to be reduced in the future. Then also I already mentioned about this charging and Neste, so it's really great to see that we have this global solution, global refineries, and we've been able to bring those solutions to our market in Finland and Baltic countries, and Lithuania now really leading with the Neste network launch this year. And thinking how we operate, so we couldn't do this alone. So we have a strong partnership. The journey that we are going, it's of course together with the customers, with the partners, and very much also the solution based on the feedback and demand from them. Thank you.